Hey guys, and welcome! So, as you've seen it by the title, today we're gonna talk about the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 that was just released to beta. Or actually, at the time of you watching this video the beta just ended, but that's irrelevant. The point is, I want to share my first impressions after playing Black Ops 4 as someone who's been playing Battlefield for a while and played Battlefield 5 beta. How does Battlefield 5 beta compare to Black Ops 4 and vice versa? So let's get to it. First and most importantly, I hate to admit it because I'm a fan of Battlefield, but Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta just worked. It worked in the beta. And I know beta is supposed to be for testing, it's supposed to be for finding out issues and forwarding the feedback to developers, but comparing this to what we got in Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was in much better state in the beta than what we've seen in Battlefield 5. Pretty much the only technical problem I noticed while playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was that sometimes we had to recreate the lobby because the game was glitching out after leaving the match and starting matchmaking again, but it just worked. All you had to do is just recreate the lobby, and if you guys remember squads in Battlefield 5 beta, you couldn't even recreate those, you couldn't even create those in the first place majority of the time because Origin wasn't working, Battlefield 5 wasn't working, the squad system was down, like there's been so many issues and those just weren't here with Black Ops 4. Alright, maybe except for one thing, because if you set textures to low in the Black Ops 4, you actually got this Minecraft gameplay. It literally looks like Minecraft DLC, I'm not kidding. But I assume it's a glitch in the settings and it's actually not intended to be this way for the sake of having higher frame rates, so yeah, let's just go on to the other things. When it comes to the actual gameplay of the Call of Duty, I'm never sure how to compare it to Battlefield, to be honest, because while it could somewhat be compared to Battlefield 1 with the previous Call of Duty, now Black Ops 4 compared to Battlefield 5, they're the exact opposites. DICE is trying to slow down Battlefield 5 and make it more tactical, while Call of Duty Black Ops 4, well, it's a dynamic Battle Royale game. At least in Battle Royale game mode that we got to play in the beta, but you guys get the point. The tempo in Battlefield is a lot slower than what it used to be in the previous game. So I don't even know how can I compare this Call of Duty, which has always been much faster than any Battlefield. But overall, I got to admit, I did like the gameplay. I enjoyed playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 when it comes to the pure gameplay and how the game was designed. Although, I still prefer Battlefield, but that's just my personal taste. I prefer a bit slower game, not that arcadey, even though I know Battlefield is an arcade game, it's not a tactical shooter like Arma or any other game of this sort, but still, I prefer Battlefield to Call of Duty, even though I still like Call of Duty. It's just something different. Two different worlds, to be honest. However, one thing which I found incredibly irritating after playing Battlefield, and I'm not really sure how it's been in the previous Call of Duty games because I haven't really played those. I've only played previous game in the beta to compare it to Battlefield 1, but that's pretty much all my Call of Duty experience. I literally despised TTK in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I don't know how this game is balanced, but sometimes I was shooting a guy with like half of the magazine and he was still running. Now I know headshots are important and stuff, but what is this TTK? Like, it takes so long to take someone out. And although again I do know that time to kill and time to die, it's basically an individual personal opinion on the subject every single time, because we've even had these arguments in Battlefield 1 when DICE decided to shift TTK towards the lower one, but still, I prefer Battlefield 5 TTK a lot more to what I had to deal with in the new Call of Duty. However, this whole issue might have also been caused by the fact that I was mainly playing duos or squads when I was playing the Royale mode. If I were playing solo and majority of my engagements would be 1v1, then high TTK is fine, but The problem appears when you as an individual have to come across couple of players and fight them at once, because then higher TDK actually puts you at the disadvantage as a single soldier. And yes, I know you could say that if I'm playing squads, I should have my own squad and they should each take out one guy so that it would even out, but we all know in reality it's never like this. Sometimes one person will take out 3 guys and the other ones will take out 1. Sometimes no one will take out anyone and everyone will die, so it's like, it's never that even that one person fights one guy every single time. When it comes to the audio and graphics in both games, I got to admit, Battlefield 5 wins both categories. There is just no comparison, especially in the audio alone. Sounds of weapons and the overall surroundings in the actual game, they're just so much better in Battlefield than what we have in Call of Duty. The sounds in Black Ops, they feel empty, flat, like there is no actual bass to the whole sound, there is no immersion when you're shooting a gun, that you're actually shooting a gun, you feel like you're just shooting some sort of a toy, which I'm not saying is bad, it's just not as immersive as Battlefield 5 is. And speaking of the graphics, well, in my opinion Battlefield 5 is better, but it doesn't mean that you can't play Call of Duty because it has such a terrible graphics. In fact, Call of Duty graphics are very good, it's just that they're not as good as the ones in Battlefield, but it still doesn't make a game bad. Graphics isn't everything that the game has to offer. I have to admit, it's really hard for me to compare those two games because there is some things I like about Battlefield and there is some things I like about Call of Duty. But then there is some things I dislike about Battlefield and there's also some things I dislike about Call of Duty. Easy examples. I don't like Call of Duty's gunplay because it doesn't feel rewarding compared to Battlefield 5. But at the same time, I totally despise movement in Battlefield 5 when you have to move side to side because it's so sloppy and sluggish compared to what you have in Battlefield. I'm sorry, not Battlefield, but Black Ops 4. As I've said, it's really hard to compare those two, especially considering that they're not even targeting the same audience, to be honest. Yes, they're both shooters, but in the end, Call of Duty crowd isn't the same crowd playing Battlefield. For the most part. I know there is some overlap, but if you're a big fan of Call of Duty, you're most likely not going to enjoy Battlefield 5. And vice versa. If you're a big Battlefield 5 fan, which doesn't seem to have that many of those these days, but I'm not gonna go into that, you're simply not going to enjoy Call of Duty because it's something completely different and not something you expect from the game, or at least not something that you like from the game. However, all of this might easily change this year, especially seeing that literally every studio is putting Battle Royale into their games now. Realistically, one of the previous distinctions between Call of Duty and Battlefield was that Battlefield is about big open maps with vehicles and Call of Duty is about small maps, intense gameplay, fast-paced action, but this time around, Battlefield and Call of Duty have the same game mode. Now I know, it will be much different in Battlefield than what we've seen in Call of Duty, but the Call of Duty game mode, their version of Battle Royale, it was fun to play. It was actually really fun to play. So, will Battlefield 5 be the same? Will it be worse? Maybe it will be much better. But then again, how do even those compare to PUBG or Fortnite? It's really interesting to see what's happening on the gaming market right now, especially seeing the whole hype and trend around Battle Royale. Because, realistically, how long does the trend last? How long till it dies out and we're left with games based on Royale, which the audience will not want to play anymore? It's really interesting. Anyway guys, that would be it for my impressions of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 after playing Battlefield games and especially Battlefield 5. Let me know down in the comments what do you think about Call of Duty and Battlefield 5, how do they compare in your opinion, write down the comment, and as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the Battlefield. It's actually quite hypocritical to say this at the end of the comparison video, but whatever. See ya!